This is Jeremy Stoliker, and I have what I hope is a helpful thought for you today. A couple of ideas that may be exactly what you need right now. I've had several conversations over the last couple of weeks with different folks who are in different stages of life and dealing with different things. But the question is one that I've asked before, or maybe you've asked before, something that's pretty common. And the question is something like this, and you can put it in your own context, but something like this: where do I go from here? Or how do I get started when I don't exactly know what the next step is? And this can be at the beginning of a new venture. Maybe it's a business venture or something else. You know what you want to do. You just don't exactly know how to start. How do I get started? Maybe it's something you've been trying for a long time and you've gotten stuck and here you are. And you need to know how to get to the next step. How do I go forward from here? What do I do when I don't exactly know what to do? As someone who's been involved in ministry and working to help folks, I've heard this question many times from those who are in a very difficult time of their life. An unexpected tragedy, the loss of a loved one, something else has come into their life, and they ask a question like that: what do I do now? Where do I go from here? Just a couple of things, and maybe you thought of these. I hope they'll be a help to you, maybe if nothing else, just to get your brain going and give you some ideas that you can begin to run with. Where do you go from here? How do you get started when you don't exactly know what to do? Or how do you take that next step when the future is a little bit unclear? The first thing is this, and this is really, really simple, something that anyone could have come up with. You start where you are. Start where you are. Often people will ask me a question like this, or in my own life, my own experience, I've asked this question, and I look down the road a little bit, and I think if I was just over there, I'd know what to do. If I was a little bit further along, I'd know where to go from there. And really, sometimes the first step is the hardest step. Where do you go from here? You go to the next place. You begin moving. You do whatever that next thing is, even if it's a hard thing, maybe it's a simple thing. Take the next step. Start where you are. Don't wait to get where you'd like to go. Begin where you are right now. Maybe you're in a time of life where things have become overwhelming and you don't know what to do. Maybe the next thing you need to do is get up and get dressed and have breakfast, and then do the thing that comes after that. In our lives as believers, those who are Christians, we say, well, how do we grow in this relationship? You grow day after day after day. You take the next step. You do the next thing. You go to the next place. Start where you are. That's the very best thing that you can do. The second thing is this, and it's similar to that. Start with what you have. Start with what you have. Again, it's easy to say, well, I would start with where I am if only I had the resources that I need. We can look at, in a business sense, people with what we think are more resources. Maybe it's more money or more stuff. And we can look at them and say, well, if I had what they had, then I could do something really important in my life as a Christian, as someone who's trying to grow in my relationship with God. If I had more resources available to me, a better place to go, or other things that around me that I think I need, then I could do better. Start where you are with the resources that you have. Whatever you have right now in your hands, the things that you have available to you right now, that's what you're responsible for. You're not responsible for anything else. And again, as a Christian, I look at the world and things in terms of stewardship. I am only responsible for the things that God has placed in my hands. I will control everything that I can control. I want to control those things. I'm responsible for those things. But anything beyond that, those things that are outside of my control, I'm just going to let go. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to let God worry about those things. And I know that is easier said than done. I struggle in this area all of the time. But really, when I look at the resources that I have, that's what I can use. And then go from there and build more. And as I'm given more resources or find more resources, put my hands on those things and use those and leverage them to get to the next thing. But start where you are, start with what you have, and then include other people in your journey. This is an important one. We were not created to live alone. We weren't created to function alone, and that's in every area of our lives. This idea of the Lone Ranger is really a false idea. I think in a lot of ways it's a harmful idea. We're not intended to do this alone. Pull other people into what you're doing. If it's business advice that you need, find some successful business people and get with them and ask them questions and let them help you. If it's a relationship issue that you're dealing with. Find some people that can help you there. If it's a personal struggle, maybe a tragedy of some kind, bring some people into that can encourage you, and they'll help you get to the next step. Sometimes we need people to show us the way, and sometimes we need people to carry us along. But don't do this alone. You weren't intended to do it alone. Find someone that can help you and let them help you. So start where you are. It's important. Start with what you have. Get some people to help you along the way. And then the last one, at least for this discussion, is this. Look at redefining your definitions of success and failure. Redefining your definitions of success and failure. We look at our own situation, we understand our own limitations, and then we begin to have thoughts like this: I could never be successful, or I failed too much in the past. And we let these artificial things limit us. Redefine your definition of success. Perhaps success is not what you've always envisioned it to be. Perhaps success for you today is getting up and taking the next step, beginning to use the resources that you have available to you. Redefine success. Success, simply put, should be following the plan that God has for your life, one step at a time. One step at a time. That's success. And then failure, this thing that we look at and we say, well, I can't go forward because of what's happened back here. That's artificial. The only thing keeping you from moving forward is you. Begin where you are. This is where I am. Maybe I fell down. And where I am is I need to get back up. Use the resources available to you to do that and begin moving forward with those resources. Find some people around you that can help you. And then redefine those definitions of success and failure. Success unfolds over time. Failure is not anything that should keep you from going forward. In fact, often it's failure that gives you the resources and the opportunities to do the next thing, whatever the next thing is. This is something we all deal with, something we all struggle with. I struggle with this often. What do I do now? Where do I go from here? And really, the next thing you can do is the next thing. The resources that you can use are the ones that you have available to you. When you're in that dark place and you're kind of lost, find some people who can shine some light into that. And then stop dealing so much with, I've been a success, or I can be, or I can't be, I've been a failure. Stop worrying about it. Redefine that. Success is getting up and doing the next thing to the very best of your ability. I hope this helps. And I know this is something we struggle with, but it is an area that we can make progress if only we will. Thank you, and appreciate you listening.